And this is Betsy Aoki from Microsoft, actually Bing. Betsy, tell me a little bit about how social media is working at Bing and what you're doing with social media at Bing.
So there are two ways to think about it. One is we of course use social media in terms of marketing Bing the brand. We have Twitter, we have a Facebook account. The marketing team does various campaigns with social media, and the PR team also works having Twitter parties and doing separate outreach through Twitter. So on the marketing business side, we definitely use it. And then what's been really interesting lately has been we've been launching features that integrate Facebook and its wealth of social data into the search results of Bing. And we've also actually hooked ourselves up with Twitter in the same way, but we're doing some interesting experiments with, if you come to Bing and you search for something and you're logged into Facebook already, you'll manage to see in those search results which ones your friends have liked already. Bringing together social and search is sort of our next big thing, and it's actually been really cool to watch.
Now, do you do social media for Bing as well as, put social media in the product, or?
So I do social media for Bing as a PR marketing person. I have worked in live search on social applications, most notably Live Q&A, which was our question and answer service. And I do work right now, because I sit in the PR team, with the team in Silicon Valley that actually puts the Facebook integration together with the search results. So while I'm not strictly speaking an engineer shipping the product, I have a lot of connections with both those teams, and because I have to usually explain what the products are, everybody's communicating and everybody's sort of talking about what we're doing next.
Do you have advice for, let's say, startups or more entrepreneurial companies, which kind of are the focus for the MIT Enterprise Forum?
Sure. Actually, Bing does have a startup booster program, which we just launched in Boston last week. So it's a great coincidence that you asked that question. I didn't know it was coming, but that's awesome. We are putting together a program in Boston for startups, in the MIT area, in the Boston area. We are looking for different ways that we can help you guys in terms of promoting you. If you need to know anything about the Bing API for your development projects, we can give you information about that. We're working with Mass Challenge, Dogpatch, Techstars, and the Cambridge Innovation Center in order to help the sort of local startup community network with each other and also bring some resources to bear and help startups out. So there's a sort of a campaign that's just about startups, and then in terms of social media and promoting yourself through social media, I think the best thing to do is pick maybe 2 or 3 channels and do them really well, and then see if your small startup can actually branch out and do more, because it's worse to be present and have a kind of dead account or a dead blog or a Twitter handle that hasn't said anything for a while than it is to have like 1 or 2 that you're hitting it out of the park every time, you're responsive to customers. You really want to get a few things done well and then see what your capacity is to do more on different channels.
Do technology-oriented companies have different social programs, or do they have different social needs than, let's say, consumer or more, manufacturing type companies?
Well, I think some of what you do will be different, right? So if you're say you're a startup and you have a particular technology that does things for mobile users, right? Well, then you're probably going to look at where are the mobile users hanging out? Are they actually on Twitter tweeting all the time? Are they going to certain websites? Is there a mobile blogger that they follow? You'll be concentrating your effort on hitting your audience, the relevant to your technology, as opposed to, everybody in the world, may or may not love soccer. You have a soccer-related technology. I mean, it'll be a different approach.
And how do you measure success? I mean, I would think that a lot of companies, especially in this economy, are looking for dollars and cents, measurable, quantifiable results. Is that something that social provides, or not so much?
I think we're still learning how to measure social. So we have ways of tracking how people are sharing, what they're sharing, who they influence to a certain extent. But I think the holy grail for most marketers has been, do I have a real relationship with that customer? Will they really tell their friends? Will they really come back? Or are they just sort of following me on Twitter and they never really check? So I think we're still in the infancy of social media in terms of tracking it and making it more effective. And so you're going to see a lot of projects and a lot of campaigns probably go out creatively to see which method works for what audience at what time.
Great, Betsy. Well, thanks very much for sharing, and welcome to Boston.
Great, thank you very much.